Hi, and welcome to another episode of Ask on CYC. So we as Egyptians have inherited a cultural problem where we have become hesitant to send our elderly to nursing homes because we feel that we are neglecting them. But is it truly in the best interest for them? Also, the younger generation have become hesitant and found it uncomfortable to visit nursing homes because of the misconceptions. But you're probably missing out on so much wisdom and blessing. So we're going to address these issues on tonight's show. So before I introduce you to my guests, the number is 0416 551 292. So please send us a text or give us a call and speak to the guests on the live show. You'll not know the answer unless you ask the question. So we have two with us guests. We have with us Father Jonathan and we have with us Hanan Yusuf. Welcome to Ask.
Thank you, Mina.
It's a pleasure having you, and thank you for giving us some of your time to talk about these issues and misconceptions associated with nursing homes. So before I start, I know you're here representing St. Maurice's nursing home. So who is he and what's his story?
Yeah, St. Maurice is an Egyptian saint from the 3rd century. He is from Upper Egypt, and in the time of Emperor Maximin, Egypt was some of his empire, part of his empire, and he took some soldiers, 6,600 soldiers, with him in one of the war in Europe, exactly in Switzerland at that time, and they win the war, and St. Maurice was the head or the officer among many soldiers. At the end of the war, they were very happy, and Emperor Maximin asked them to offer as usual, some of the offertory to the idols. So, being Christians, all of them, they refused to offer to the idols. He said that he put them in a line, and every 10th of you is going to be killed until you change your mind and offer to the idols. But being Copts and very strong, and they said no, they killed the first 10 and every 10th of them. And then until he repeated that many times, until he came to St. Maurice and told him, yeah, I offer you a lot of money to change your opinion. But he was very, very strong, and he refused, so he killed all of them. It was a very big day of martyrdom. 6,600 of them has been killed, reminding us of the recently 21 Copts people in Libya who refused to change their religion. And it became a very much famous in Switzerland, and a man of miracles, and he's a patron saint for soldiers all around the world. If you go to Switzerland, his name is very well known. He has a church over there, and he is Egyptian. He's Copt saint.
Okay, so he was a soldier. So why was he chosen to be the name of this nursing home?
I think very much an elderly person, an elderly Christian person, when the body becomes very weak and the person is really fighting for his faith and fighting for his worship and fighting to keep close relationship with the Lord. We consider it's a type of fight in the old age to keep his faith. Some of them are very, very close to God. They stand up in prayers and they do matanias in old ages, and we consider them fighters. So he is the patron for the fighters, St. Maurice.
Okay, very interesting. So let's talk about the history about the St. Maurice's nursing home.
Yes, sure, Mina. Thank you. Thank you for having us in your program. So just a bit of background. So St. Maurice Aged Care actually started from around 2006, 2008, when some of our Coptic pioneers started to think what we're going to do for our, loved one. We're definitely not getting any younger, we're getting older, so we really need to care for their needs. They start the conversation take place around 2011. There was a Copt, and they said let's establish something around the Copts, but yet to discover that for constitutions and law issue they cannot run the whole program. So I think around 2012 the St. Maurice A.S.K. Being created and a constitution be in place to serve and start this service. And around 2014, Bob Tawadros gave the blessing, and they were very happy, obviously, of receiving the support. And since then, there's lots of they're trying to establish lots of community work to get the funding raised for the service.
Okay, so St. Maurice's nursing home is dedicated to Coptic Egyptians.
Well, the service is obviously being set up for Coptic people, and that's the aim, to care for the loved one who is, have a background of Coptic Orthodox.
Okay, where is it located?
So right now we actually we don't have our own facility. It's a huge project. There was an amazing opportunity comes on board when there is an A.S.K existing facility, brand new facility that they're allowing us to use a whole floor for our Coptic community, 50 beds, which is great. So it's in 1 Hickson Street, and I think there is availability for people to bring and apply and so forth.
Okay. Is there a way where people can contact Facebook page or phone?
Of course. It wouldn't exist if it not exist on Facebook these days. So there is, if you just Google St. Maurice A.S.K, there is a web page, and I think somebody recently just put Abuna Dawood just visited yesterday, and he blessed the service, and it's all updated, so you can reach us out on our Facebook if you want to get involved in service. Okay. And there's LinkedIn profile as well. I'm not sure, but
yeah, definitely. So I want to let's get into it. Let's talk about the issues that have been arised because of our culture, being Egyptian, and having this understanding that no, we're neglecting our elderly by sending them. So how can we tackle this concern?
Yes, it's a cultural idea. Yes, true. I think very much it's a very general question, Mina, that it's different from family to the other, and from elderly person to the other. You'll find some families very much sensitive about this idea. They don't want to send the elderly people to nursing home, and some other family more open-minded. The elderly themselves, some of them are open-minded to the idea. Some of them are not feeling very good idea to do that. It's very much culture. In Egypt, back in Egypt, that is not very good idea to send the elderly people to the nursing home. Is less respect and less loyalty from. Having said that, nowadays when ages goes very, very high and very old, there's a lot of diseases happening that is not practical and not safe at all for elderly people to stay at home. People with dementia can open the door at any time and they can leave the house, while parents are their kids who are parents at that time, maybe at work, or maybe some of the young kids at home, and it's a bit risky. Maybe they go to oven and do something in the old age. So they really need care. They really need high level of care in older age. Not practical at all to leave them at home. Also, loving our elderly people, sometimes they feel isolated at home. They feel not belonging to the very young generation, or their sons and daughters who are maybe sometimes here in Australia or any immigrating country. They speak English most of the time. In nursing homes, they have a lot of advantage, actually. The environment around them, especially at St. Maurice Nursing Home or any other similar nursing home to that one, is more Egyptian. They speak their own language. They are surrounded by people who are the same age. Maybe they see something, they watch something together on the TV. Maybe they play some games that they enjoy with each other. Maybe they eat Egyptian food most of the time. So I really believe very much its environment, especially in a Coptic nursing home, is very sweet and very comfortable to an elderly person. Religiously as well, because there are masses and there are meetings and there are priests visiting them most of the time, while if they are at home, sometimes they cannot go to church for many months without having Holy Communion, without seeing a priest, without participating in a mass. So I believe very much it is in older age and in some situations that it's very risky to leave those elderly people at home. It's a very good idea, really, to to bring them in this community of the same age, same need, and the good care.
I think an issue with the Egyptian culture is they fear scandal, and they feel by sending their elderly to nursing homes, people will talk about them. Do you think this is an issue, and it's clouding the minds of people to understand that their elderly are sick and they need proper care?
I think it's something, as Abuna exactly said, something that we inherit, and we feel that we're not doing our due diligence by looking after our loved one. But at the end of the day, we really have to have an honest assessment of the situation. Are we caring for them a good care? Are we providing 24/7 for whatever medical reason or mental reason, or even sometimes you're not just able to provide them with the care? So we have to be open-minded. We have to communicate with them very openly. So we just don't leave it to the last minute, or make a decision without. If obviously the loved one are in a mental way that can we discuss, we really have to inform them and prep them and give the benefits, just highlight the benefits of being in a loving community.
Okay. Just a reminder to our viewers, the phone number is 0416 551 292. So if you have a question or you want to send us a text or give us a call and speak to our guests on tonight's show, you would never know the answer unless you ask. So send in your questions and we'll answer on tonight's show. So now I want to focus on another aspect of this of the nursing home is the young people. The young people have a lot of misconceptions. They have a lot of uncomfortable ideas on what happens in a nursing home that they fear to visit. But I fear that they are missing out on a lot of wisdom, for example, a lot of blessings. For old people are very blessed. So can you please share your experiences with these nursing homes so we can take away this wrong misconception that a lot of young people have?
I remember very much that Jesus grown up as a kid and as a youth with an elderly person who is Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph was not young at all, and it was up to Jesus actually and up to heaven to choose who is the household of the Lord Jesus Christ. And out of the wisdom of heaven, Saint Joseph, being an elderly person, was his dad on earth. Also, elderly people like Abraham, when he get Isaac in a very old age, it was a great blessing. And the man was a man of God. Elderly people usually are the good people of them that is grown up in the faith and they grown up in the love of the Lord, and they are majority in the Coptic Church like that. They are a source of blessing. I remember very much my kids, when they have exams, they go to grandmother or granddad and called and say, please pray for us because we have this exam. And sometimes we say, why don't you go to mom or dad? Say, these are blessed people in our family. So it's really, they are very blessed. We grown up like that. We understand that their prayer is very much acceptable because they don't have the body in that age is very, very weak, and the spirit is much more stronger. When the body is weak, the spirit is very, very strong. They are lovely. When I go to visit them, I visit them every couple of weeks. We arrange in our church to go every Tuesday. We have a roster of priests to go, and I go every third week to visit them. And they are full of joy, like when you visit some little kids, they're full of joy, and they respect you, and they receive you with a lot of joy and a lot of appreciation that you visit them. I remember every time we go back, we use the bus of the church, or about 10 of us. Every time we go back, we say we are very happy, we are very joyful. I don't know why, but it is just the joy and the appreciation and the prayer for you. Everything you give to them, a small cake or you wrap on their shoulder, they kiss you and they love you. They are very simple, they are very loving, they are close to the heart of the Lord. So really it's a great blessing for young youth. I know many of the young youth love to serve elderly people. So please encourage and go. Test it one time when you go and visit them, and when you offer them a hug, offer them some hymns, and you see the reaction of joy in their face and the reaction of appreciation. I'm quite sure you will love it very much.
Okay. I know you were saying about how they love. Please share it with the audience.
It was an interesting experiment they done in Finland that allowing university students to stay in nursing homes free for accommodation, as long as they provided X amount of hours to serve the community or the people in the nursing home. And apparently the result was amazing from the youth perspective. They appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom and the companionship that they have with the elderly, and the elderly as well. They the youth in any place, they add element of joy and happiness and fresh air to any community. So it was really benefit both ways, from the youth to help and serve, and it's a great idea if it can be implemented.
Yeah. So if there are youth out there who want to serve, who have a talent, maybe a musical talent, maybe a singing talent, and they'd love to come, would you guys be happy to take on this service on board?
I believe it's a great opportunity for the young one to get involved and have opportunity to be exposed. I mean, we all have our grandparents and elderly one around us, but to serve in this service is, as Abuna was saying, it's a very blessed service. So, try it once, come and arrange a concert or a musical, or something like that, some games even for them, with a consultation obviously of the place. If you take them for a walk in the park, just walk, depend on their physical ability. So there's so many things to be done. It's just a matter of coordinating and get in touch with us through our Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something very special for you guys on tonight's show. I haven't done on any other show yet. So to the audience members, if you have a talent, or if you have something, a gift that you want to share, or even just spend time with the people here at St. Maurice's Nursing Home, please visit the page and find out details and go and share your service with them. Thank you. This is the first time I did something like this. This is for the blessing and the wisdom that I want the youth to experience from such a great blessing. So we're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion. So just a reminder to our viewers, the phone number is 0416 551 292. So please send in your questions through a text. You'll remain anonymous, or give us a call and you'll still remain anonymous and speak to our guests on tonight's show. Thank you.
CYC, Christian Youth Channel.
Hi, welcome back to Ask on CYC, where we talk about nursing homes and the stereotypes and the issues concerned with them. And we're here to cover on how we can benefit our elderly by sending them to nursing homes. So I actually just got two questions that came in from the audience while we were on break. The first question that just came in, they're asking, have St. Maurice's considered a service for the elderly who are struggling to accept that being in a nursing home is the best thing for them?
Yeah, I think it's a transition from home to the nursing home. Naturally, it will take some time until they get used to the place. I guess very much some good time to prepare them by saying that maybe a good idea because of these things that we cannot provide for you. We love you very much, and maybe it's a good idea to be among people who can care better about you, among people who can spend better time with you, your age. And maybe, I'm not sure whether a good idea to let them visit the nursing home one time or not, because sometimes it's a very big transition and people will reject. But maybe preparing them, my idea is preparing them for some 2 months, daily speaking about the nursing home. Maybe if there is a video from St. Maurice, we can prepare a video like the activities and the environment, about the elderly people and how clean is the place. Maybe you prepare them for a couple of months, and then at a certain day we say, let us make it for a week, try it for a week, and then we'll discuss it again. And I'm quite sure that if they go and they see that the environment is very relaxed, people around them, same age, same interest, same needs, the care is good, I think they will be happy.
I actually got the second question is very similar to the first, maybe, and then you can touch up on it. It says, my grandma needs full-time carer. How can I convince her that being in a nursing home is the best thing?
It's very similar to what Abuna was saying. So preparing a person to transition at that stage of his life, it's not easy. So it will take time. You need to talk to granny a few times, outlining the benefit. Maybe try to get somebody who's good influence of her, like Abuna or a big servant or somebody she can trust. And it will take time. It will take time until they start to ease to the idea. we actually do have a video already prepared for the facility, so we can definitely put it on Facebook for people to view. But we have to acknowledge we might see the benefit, but for the loved one, they cannot see it straight away. So changes take time. We have to acknowledge the age, the ability, and prepare them. You know, it doesn't mean that I have a conversation with them today, tomorrow off you go. No, it takes time, as Abuna exactly was saying. It might take a month or two. Seeing the video and viewing it, get people to talk about it with them, especially the ones that have influence on them, might ease the process a little bit. But it is hard. It is hard. It is hard.
Maybe they can explain to them that, don't worry, they speak Arabic, it's going to be Egyptian food, Abuna will visit you and give you communion, stuff like that, to encourage them that they're not losing their culture.
Correct.
I agree with Hanan very much that they need someone whom they love. I think they listen. Most of elderly people love and trust Abuna. If Abuna can talk to them and say, it's for me like migrating. If you migrate to a new country, is a very big step. So it's exactly the same. But what makes it really very nice, it is the same culture, same language, people whom they know and they share experience together. When I go to the nursing home, I go to nursing home, which is not Coptic nursing home, before the Coptic nursing home started. And I found people like you are speaking English and they get you to migrate to a country speaking Spanish. And you feel very lost at the beginning until the time comes to learn the language. And because these elderly people will never learn the English language, the culture is very different. I found them very much disadvantaged when they go to a nursing home, which is not the Coptic nursing home. So really through this program, I encourage people to get their elderly people to the Coptic nursing home, because I can see in the non-Egyptian or non-Coptic nursing home, in a very short period of time, they lost their ability to speak. They lost their ability to communicate, because the whole environment is very strange. People are talking different language. They are dancing in a different way. They are watching different stuff, and they are feeling very isolated. While when I go to the Coptic nursing home, I can really see the difference. Very, very much happy, sharing jokes together, watching something on TV that they can share. Abuna is coming and they are very happy. It's a significant difference between my loved one, the elderly people in nursing home, which is Coptic, than nursing home, which is the Australian one. Extremely different.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, the group that you serve with, what age group are we talking about, and how can youth get involved and serve?
Sure. It happened about 3 months ago when the groups that Hanan and Susie and the lovely servant who take care of this Coptic nursing home, they send a message saying, if you'd like to serve as a church. And it came to our mind an idea at St. Mark Church that will take 1 week evening to go every week and cover evening. So I announced that in the church, and 4 groups has been established within 1 week. One of the group is youth who love tasbihah very much, and they lift up their hands and say, would love to go and serve once a month in doing tasbihah to them. So they are all youth going, having the music and saying some hymns first, some of them in Arabic, some of them in English, although their Arabic is very broken Arabic, but they still saying some Arabic and some English and tasbihah, and they give them some gifts and so on, and they are extremely happy with this service. They come back and they said, we are really happy to serve. They have been doing that for the last 4 months and continue doing that.
Okay, very interesting. So I want to talk about the finances. How are you guys still, how are you guys being financed, or how can people help or contribute to?
Just on the same point that Abuna was saying, we have different groups of people are serving. We have a young mother group that they sometimes in Christmas and public holiday they take the kids and sing some hymns and carols, which bring a lot of joy to the elderly. So it's we're having 1 or 2 men as well. Sometimes they go, and a lot of ladies that they just got put in their heart to make this beautiful service. So anyone who's God just light in his heart to serve, any age, any groups are more than welcome. I think from a financial point of view, I'm not in a position to say details, but it's all funded through groups and fundraising activity, and it's a great cause. We all know that the cost is really high to set such a high standard quality service, and long term is to build a plan or a facility that we owned, which is extremely costly in Sydney. So there's a lot of fundraising activity happening, and if anyone put in his heart to support the service, again, they can reach out to us. And there's lots and lots of servants that actually do serve, not just sit down and talk, that's responsible for this, and they can again reach out to us and we'll be able to link them with the right people.
Yeah, sure. And if anyone else out there in the audience wants to help out, they can just go to the Facebook page and
Yes,
contribute.
yes, please.
Okay. So I want to talk about, this is probably one of the most important questions, St. Maurice's nursing home that's different in other nursing homes. Like, why should me as a Coptic send my elderly to St. Maurice's nursing home?
I think I spoke about that, Yamina, in my answer. I say it's much, much different. I can see the joy, I can see the laughter over there while when I visit the elderly people in the Australian nursing home. I can see them lost, like someone who doesn't understand what's going around, and they lose the ability to speak very quick. So I'll ask Hanan maybe to add, because Hanan is very much involved in that. Please.
I mean, the reason is you have abbonas that go and have mass every week, different priests. Lots of community, like loving Egyptian community, people that go and visit them and bring them food and talk and just sit down and hold their hands and listen, just listen to the stories. They have lots of stories to say. That is Bahat that Abuna is saying. So it just gives a whole feeling of being not far away from the church, which is something that all of us needed, this love and protection environment. So Abuna was saying you have a couple of Egyptian people in other nursing homes, and there's a lot of them. You feel the ability to connect, but having the environment to support you, it obviously better care and better service for our loved one.
Yeah. I may add something to what Hanan is saying. Some of the workers in the Coptic and St. Maurice Coptic nursing home is Egyptian, and young ladies serving over there, working over there with paid work. Yeah. And you can see the way they treat the elderly over there, like our very warm way, hugging and say tant fulana, and very, very close connecting to them. And I feel this is very warm, brings a lot of warmth in their hearts, and bring a lot of we are belonging to here. The way the staff is dealing with them, especially the Coptic staff, is very much Christian, very much full of love. While in comparison to a non-Coptic nursing home, exactly you feel that someone doing the service, and there is no like it is not a service like a paid work. It's a very, very much, I can see that really in the Coptic nursing home.
Okay. I have time for one more question for the show, and this is probably a very important question. There are probably a lot of families out there who are still undecided or still hesitant to send their elderly. So what advice or what would you like to say to give these people encouragement that they shouldn't be hesitant about sending their elderly to the nursing home?
A very important question, Mina, really, because I think a lot of people is this question in their minds, and they need to decide about it. I guess very much to visit the nursing home one time to see what type of service, what type of care, how the elderly people over there are happy, and this will help them to take the decision. So I really encourage those people who have this hesitation to go one day, visit the nursing home, and be quite sure that their loved one is going to be taken care of in a probably sometimes much better way than many times than at home. Also, the people who has their loved one in a different nursing home, really this is a target. That really come one day to the Coptic nursing home and see the difference. If you love them, bring them to communities that they feel loved, that they feel belonging, that they feel they understand. So for this group, I really say through this program, encourage them to transfer their elderly to the Coptic nursing home.
Okay.
If I might add,
Yeah,
Mina,
of
one
course,
question.
yeah.
I think at the end of the day, we really have to be honest with ourselves. If we're not providing the care that they should have, we have to be honest and just get from our mind that people will say. We have to, what's the aim? To look after my parents. So if I'm not providing the good care, if they're being isolated, if I'm not around a lot, that's the place that they've been looked after. So getting from our head that people will say on us we're not looking after our parents, we really shouldn't be the driver to make our decision. The driver should, are we looking after them 100%? Where is the best place to look after? And I think from that point, we really have to get rid of some of the old, not very useful thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to ask ourselves, what is the best
Yeah.
interest of our elderly?
You know, if I add to Hanan, that also we are not forcing other families, that other families, they have their own feelings that I would like to keep the elderly at home, and they can do that. Yani.
Yeah.
And if they have that feeling, and if they see this, I am capable to do that, we are not saying that is better or it is advisable. But as Hanan said, that if I have a feeling that I'm not serving them in the best way, I may think of another option. But also we respect very much the families and the ideas that say that now I would like to take care of my, I still can. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Sure,
Yeah.
of course. I'd like to thank you both for being on the show. It was a pleasure having you and giving us your insight on this.
Yamina.
Thank
you.
Yamina.
And thank you to our audience members who've tuned in. So like I mentioned earlier on the show, if you have a talent or you want to serve or you want to give some time, or if you're thinking about sending someone who's elderly to the nursing home, the details I'll put up on the screen for you. So please, the details will be up there now. You can find the way to contact them through these details. So please don't be shy and don't forget that there's a lot of blessing, wisdom, and there's a lot of great things in this service. So I'm Mina Ibrahim from your CYC studios in Sydney. Good night and God bless.
CYC, Christian Youth Channel.